is good, YouTube? It's your boy King Rob, and we are back with another reaction. What is good, YouTube? It's your boy King Rob, and we are back with another reaction. Today we are reacting to how the MCU ruined Hulk and how to fix him. Bruh. If they had not gotten rid of the Incredible Hulk that was, or the guy that was Edward Norton, or if they didn't get rid of the Incredible Hulk in the first place, that was the best Hulk. That was the best Hulk. That was the best Bruce Banner we've gotten in the MCU. But I heard he was trying to do some other stuff and try to rewrite the script, and they were butting heads, so they cut him loose. But man, if they would have kept him, bruh, they should have kept him. They should have kept him. But that's a long talk. But yo, before we get into this reaction, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, let's get into this reaction.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Hulk, or how the MCU fucking destroyed him, and how they probably shouldn't be able to write about him ever again because they ruined him, they destroyed him, and now he's not cool anymore, or at least people don't think he's cool, which is unfortunate because the Hulk is one of the coolest characters to ever fucking exist, ever, of all time. So we're going to talk about how the character has been ruined by MCU, and we're going to talk about how they could probably fix it. They're probably never going to fix it, unfortunately, but we're going to talk about, all the things that make him cool, and how, we can make him cool once again. So stay tuned, get your Twizzlers, get your drinks, and we're going to delve deep into the mythos of the Incredible Hulk. So don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and tell you what you like, what you dislike. And if you don't, I'm going to be like a disappointed dad. And I'm probably going to leave you for milk and never return. And not even going to give you any child care or, money for your college fund. So you better do that, or else you're never going to get my love again. The Hulk and Bruce Banner has been around for like 60 years, and they consistently have been one of the most interesting characters ever. Mostly thanks to a lot of the writers that have written about the Hulk since those years. And unlike most characters like Spider-Man, unfortunately, he's had some pretty consistent runs over the years. There've been some hiccups here, some pretty runs, some runs that have been entirely retconned by other writers. I'm looking at you, Peter David. But for the most part, he's had some pretty good runs. And with runs like that, you would think there would be some stuff that the MCU can take and use for their character whenever they're writing the Hulk in movies and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, to be fair, at the start, they had some character there, with the Incredible Hulk and like the first Avenger.
Best Hulk. Best freaking Hulk. I'm telling you right now, if this Hulk was in the MCU, bruh, Thanos would have had no chance. But the fact that Thanos... That just hurt my soul. They turned this dude into a straight wuss. Turned him into a straight wuss. Dude, Thanos whooped him so bad he didn't even want to come out anymore. He literally kept saying no the whole time Bruce was trying to get him to come out. Come on now. Bruh, if they had this Hulk, bruh, Thanos would have had no chance. But then again, I kind of see they didn't want Hulk to be too overpowered because they want the whole team to defeat him. Well, the whole team to face off against him. If he's facing against just this type of Hulk, Thanos is done. Thanos is literally done. There's no chance of him winning at that point. But they just had to wussify him for
film. The Incredible Hulk, well, not a great movie or even a good movie to be fair. There's some stuff that was there that was pretty interesting. How the Hulk was created, the origins they took basically from the Ultimate Comics. his relationship with Betty and his relationship with like Betty's dad, and how he tries to control the Hulk, how he wanted to destroy the Hulk at first, but now he's trying to use that part of him to help other people. There were some interesting aspects of that, and that was made even more interesting when they recasted Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo and put him in the Avengers, where they still try to make him interesting with him helping people in other countries and him using the other guy, as they put it in the Avengers, to like fight monsters or whatever. I don't know, they haven't really deepened his character other than that. And we got to see him do pretty cool shit whenever he was fighting in New York, so that was pretty awesome. Things took a really bad turn in Avengers Age of Ultron, where he had this weird romance with Natasha Romanoff, and he said that he couldn't have kids, which is a total lie, because years later he has a son. So I don't know what he meant by that. I guess he couldn't get.
Well, they missed a perfect opportunity to make a Hulk movie about his son. They after which one, Thor Ragnarok, they missed a perfect opportunity to make a movie about Hulk going back to that planet or to face off against his son. Bruh, they could have had a whole movie about Hulk facing off against his son and everything. Bruh, they missed a perfect opportunity.
Excited, like he said in the last film, or also just destroy the lady, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that was kind of weird. I think things just went off a fucking cliff after Thor Ragnarok, where they just made everybody a joke. And to be fair, it kind of worked because the movie was a comedy, so like it worked for that movie. But unfortunately, it gave everybody up in Marvel the bad idea that they should just keep doing it because they liked it in Thor Ragnarok, so they're just gonna like it in every movie. No, that's not what happened. After Thanos beat the ever-living shit out of him, we never got to see Hulk again in his, coolest form ever. We just got to see him turn into Bruce Banner and him just say some stupid lines, and then we get to see Bruce Banner as basically just the Hulk. Now he's just big and green, and we never got to see any of that characterization, in the 5 years that had passed in that film. So he basically just had character growth that we didn't get to see. And now he's just big and green now, and now the Hulk doesn't exist. It's just Banner with the Hulk's body, I guess. And that's really unfortunate because, that could have been super interesting. We could have seen, him, struggle with having to use a Hulk and him talking with the Hulk and them being able to combine themselves to create something better, more perfect, if you will. Nope, all that character growth was just written out, so we never got to see any of it, and it's just implied that they just made up, I guess. They just said, yeah, let's just stop fighting, let's just get together. And by get together, let's just destroy the Hulk conscious entirely and just make Bruce Banner big and green. Isn't that just fun? And it got even worse from there with like the She-Hulk show, and he just turned into a fucking joke after that, and he got berated by his cousin because apparently he doesn't know how to hold his anger in as well as his cousin who's never been a Hulk before. It's just amazing. I love what they did with the character. It's fucking insane how they did what they did to my boy. It's basically just that one meme with the guy from Godfather. Look what they massacred my boy. Some shit like that. I don't fucking know. I'm upset, as you can tell. I'm really angry. I'm about to turn to the Hulk myself and go up to Kevin Feige and just smash. But I can't do that, unfortunately, because gamma radiation doesn't turn you into the Hulk. It just destroys all your cells. But there's a silver line through this. We all know that the MCU is basically going to go through a giant reboot after like the last two Avengers films, if they get those films off the ground with all the shit that's happening and behind closed doors. So yeah, that's a bit messy, but we all know it's probably gonna happen. So here are some ideas that they can use to make the Hulk a better character if they ever get like his film rights or some shit, I don't know. And obviously Mark Ruffalo isn't gonna, keep playing the Hulk, as he's been just phoning it in throughout this entire time just for money, because you could tell he doesn't really care about the character because nobody else cares about the character. The writers don't even fucking care about the character. So, obviously, they're going to have to recast him with somebody who's a bit younger, because Mark is kind of getting up there in age, and somebody who actually has some passion for the character, or at least wants to know more about the character. So see, here...
What do you guys think would make a good Bruce Banner? Like, oh my gosh. Who would make a good Bruce Banner? I don't know. Comment down below who would make a good Bruce Banner.
There are some ideas that they can use to make the character cool again, and, so people can like him, and so they can go to his, comics and read all of his stuff. Because honestly, as I said before, the Hulk is one of the coolest, most interesting, most complex and deep characters to ever exist. And I hope more people get interested into his comics, because a lot of them are really fucking cool. Like, I own so many Hulk comics because they're just that good. I'm not doing it because I want to collect them. I mean, I do want to collect them, that's one of the reasons, but also because it's really good, and they're really fun comics, and I want people to read them, because they're fun, and they're fucking hilarious, and they have really cool art. Please, guys, please read Hulk. It's really good, guys. I'm telling you, I'm begging you, please read them. Step 1. They should talk more about the Hulk's background, Bruce's background specifically, and his relationship with his dad and his mom and his family. Because that is one of the big reasons why the Hulk exists, is because his dad abused him as a kid, to put it bluntly. But yeah, like, that is one of the most important aspects of his character, him being a fucking abuse victim. The reason why Bruce Banner is the way he is because how his father treated him as a kid. I mean, the guy literally killed his mother right in front of him. That shit's fucked up. And that shit should be seen on screen. We should know about this stuff. We don't get any of that in any of the movies. There's some, like, implication that he doesn't really like his dad and, like, the wikis and stuff, but we don't know any of that. And nobody's gonna read the fucking wikis because we're not all losers. At least you guys are, and I'm a loser. I mean, I read it because I wanted to see if there's anything about the MCU Hulk that's anything remotely interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything, but, like, you never know, I suppose. You never know. But yeah, talk about his background, talk about his history with his family and his father, talk about his abuse, and all that shit that happened, so we could understand why the Hulk exists. Because in the comics, the reason why the Hulk exists isn't because of the gamma radiation. That's the reason why he physically exists, but the Hulk has always been there. In fact, there's multiple Hulk personas, and that gets me into step 2. The Hulk personas. Show us the Hulk personas. We've only ever seen the Green Hulk, the Savage Hulk, the Child Hulk, the Hulk that is the most popular Hulk, the one that everybody thinks of when they think Hulk. But he's only one in multiple personalities in Bruce's fractured mind, because what most people don't know about Bruce Banner is that he has DID, dissociative identity disorder. That's an entire complex mental disorder that I am not qualified to talk about, but basically he has multiple Hulks in his head, and it's not just a Green Hulk. Like, we never got to see Joe Fixit, we never got to see the Green Scar, or the Devil Hulk, or any of those other Hulks. Which is unfortunate, because those are some of the most interesting parts of the Hulk mythos. The fact that Bruce Banner is mentally unwell, and the fact that he didn't know that until years later, because he basically repressed all of his emotions after being, abused by his dad. To put it bluntly again. Yeah, as I said, those are the most interesting aspects of his Hulk. There was an entire storyline of him fighting, his demons inside of his head. Like the entire Gil Hulk stuff that happened during Paul Jenkins' run. That was fucking cool. That was one of the most interesting aspects of his character, and we never get to see the Gil Hulk or the Devil Hulk, where he also fought another evil aspect that turned into a good aspect in the Immortal Hulk run. We never get to see any of that sort of stuff, which would be great to see nowadays if they ever reboot the character, because those are some of the most interesting, some of the most complex villains and characters ever to exist right now. But yeah, Marvel, use the personalities. They're right there. They're right there in his head. Make him change into the Grey Hulk sometime, or maybe do another Planet Hulk and do it right this time, and let him change into the Green Scar, where he's more of a warrior and less of just a green dumb monster, and more of a warrior who understands weapons and stuff like that, and he's super fucking strong. The Green Scar is one of my favorite Hulk personas, up there with the Merged Hulk. And speaking of the Merged Hulk, get the Merged Hulk right. That is step 3. The Merged Hulk, as we saw in the movies, is kind of fucking lame, and now everybody thinks that he's lame. They think that he's lame in the comics. People who's never even read the comics say that it's the worst part of the comics. And that's not true at all. How do I know that? Because A, I've read it, and B, because Peter fucking David has written those comics, and they're awesome, because most things that Peter David has written is usually really good. In the comics, this guy went to war with another country, shot guns the size of, fucking humans, while wearing bunny slippers, fought in space, and fought and killed a space warrior, and has done other cool shit like that. He's fought with an entire team of people who are descended from the gods, and even led them at one point. It's all really fucking cool. It was really great storytelling. And he isn't just a cool uncle who talks about science and tells kids to dab. No, he's got some fucking attitude. He was mean. He was kind of an asshole. And that made him cool. He was really funny because, you know, he was a bit of an asshole. He was super arrogant and he thought he knew everything. And that's what made him an interesting character. He isn't just some goofy, you know, guy who likes to tell jokes from time to time. No, he was interesting. And we never got that from the MCU because they just thought, hey, let's just make Mark Ruffalo but green. And people like it. No, none of us liked it. I certainly didn't like it. And I don't think anybody else has liked it, unfortunately. As, you know, all these videos we've seen about the MCU basically destroying the Hulk and all their other characters. Step 4, and this is a pretty important one, make the Hulk a monster. Make it a monster series in vein of the way that Swamp Thing TV show that was actually really good. That was unfortunately canceled after one season. Make it something like that. Make a horror show about the Hulk, because the Hulk works way better as a horror character than as a superhero character. How do I know that? Because Immortal Hulk exists, and that is one of the best runs to ever happen to a character since, well, ever, honestly. It is literally one of the best Hulk runs to ever exist. People think of it as the best Hulk run to ever exist, actually, because it just deepens the character. And it's also really cool. Like, the art is cool, the weird gory effects and stuff like that. Make Hulk a horror character because he obviously...
I mean, that would work. Like a horror version of the Hulk. I mean, it makes sense too, because you got a dude with anger issues. And next thing you know, I wouldn't go as far as like, would they be able to go the Wolverine route where he's like literally like, even though I would kind of like that if he went the Wolverine route where there's blood and he's actually like breaking people and just ripping people apart. But I don't know if that would work. It might work.
He works better as a monster than he does as a superhero. The newest run basically just goes with that, and it's one of the best runs ever as well. Like the last run with Donny Cates trying to go back into making him a science fiction monster, and that isn't terrible. It wasn't a bad run, but obviously after the Immortal Hulk, people don't want, you know, just science fiction Hulk. They want monster Hulk. They want Hulk that like kills people and does monstrous things. Well, not kill people, but like, you know, fights other monsters and does gory stuff and like, you know, transforms and looks disgusting and whatnot. They like the art, they like the storytelling, people are realizing that Hulk works way better as like this Cronenberg-esque monster rather than just a simple green guy that fights robots for a living. Just do that. Make him a monster. Make him a monster character. Finally, the last step, talk about Bruce's psychology, Bruce's relationship with his other personalities. If you're not going to make it into a monster flick or like a horror show, make it into a psychological thriller, because that's another thing that makes Hulk interesting. Bruce's relationship with his other personalities. Those are like the main aspects of what makes a good Hulk comic, is about his fighting over dominance over his own body. And that shit is really interesting. Him like talking out with like the other Hulk personalities, him going into his own mind just to try to figure out what's going on and why all the other like personalities are trying to get out and whatnot. That's one of the most interesting aspects of the Hulk. Like, literally, most people know Bruce Banner is like the only Hulk character that cannot transform on his own, that cannot control his transformations because of his DID, as I mentioned before. Because of that, that makes him a more interesting character, because all of his Hulk personas are their own beings, their own living beings that have their own wants and needs, and, you know, want to be outside of, you know, Bruce Banner's brain. They want to control the body, and Bruce doesn't want that. And that makes things super interesting, you know, him trying to like fight back the urges to transform into the Hulk, and the Hulk trying to get out, you know, destroy everything, you know, trying to do its own thing like Joe Fixit. Joe Fixit, the Grey Hulk, he was a mafia enforcer. He did some cool shit in the comics as well. He doesn't want to like destroy things like the Green Hulk. He just wants to, you know, wear suits and get money and get laid by lots of bitches. That's what he wants. And that's what made him a cool character as well. Like, all these Hulk personalities, they have their own wants and needs, and they have their own personalities and all shit like that. It's just super cool. So yeah, if they're not gonna make like a horror series in vein of the Immortal Hulk where he goes to hell and fights the devil and shit like that, make it into something like Bruce Jones's run, where it's basically like a giant political thriller or something along those lines. Make it something like that, so we could get something interesting with the character, other than just him turning into the monster whenever he needs to fight baddies and whatnot. Make it a fight between him and the other Hulk personalities. Do shit like that, like they've done in the comics. Yeah, that's basically all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, as I said before. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about, all the things, all the, mishaps and misuses of the Hulk character in the MCU, and how I believe people, like, up top on Marvel can, use him for a better storyline than just making him just an enforcer or, saying goofy stuff or talking about timelines or whatnot. Make him an interesting character for once in your life, guys. Write him well. And that's, like, my main point, is to have a good Hulk storyline, a good Hulk story, period. Because we haven't had that since like 2012, and I feel like many of us have had a disservice for that. The Hulk himself has had a big disservice for not being written properly. So this is what I wish. It probably would never happen, unfortunately, because Disney, Marvel, they don't fucking listen to us. They don't care. But like it's cool to speculate on things like this. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Next video next week, and I'll see you next time.
Cut starting.
How's it going, everybody? Today next video next week, and I'll see you next time.
Oh man, yep. If they were to do a movie where at first anything, I would do the origins. The abuse from his dad. Like give a view of seeing his dad as a monster, killing his mom and everything. And then when he first transformed, you don't fully transform him. I want to say make him the Hulk, but not make him fully the Hulk. If I'm like I think in the first Hulk, he was gray. Like start him out as gray, and then eventually make him green. And during that process, have him have him at certain points of the movie, like fighting with Hulk, to see where fighting the Hulk in control of who takes over. Now, I would like a movie like that, but let me know what y'all would do in the comments below. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all guys next time. Stay blessed and be great.